Welcome to another amazing episode of the podcast. I'm Jay Connor, your host, also known as the Private Money Authority. And I'm so excited to have you here. I've got a very, very special guest today. And I'll tell you, it all started in 2003, back when my guest had his very first child on the way. And he was working in the kitchen, can you believe, of a nursing home washing dishes. Well, he needed more and he had to go get it. So he had just gotten out of prison, believe it or not, back in 2002 from doing a 4-year sentence, and was determined to make something very positive happen. So he started selling CDs and clothes while he was in school, learning how to paint cars. And he opened up his own paint shop 1 year later and did that for 9 years before he needed a change again. So he bought his very first real estate property. That was a duplex back in 2011 for $14,000. But he didn't get into real estate as a business actually until 2016. Now, my guest started out by wholesaling, then started doing fix and flips up until 2020. At this time, he was determined that he even wanted more than just the wholesaling business. Well, people around him started to build homes and he was fascinated by it. So he wandered in and wanted to get part of that action. He didn't know how to start or what to do. So he put it off for about 4 months before he made his move. So once he decided to go for it, everything started falling into place just perfectly. He secured his lot, cleared it, got his survey, found a general contractor, got the blueprint done. And just like that, he was now for sure in the real estate game. He started finding his workers. Next thing you know, he was building. It took him 11 months for the first one to build and sell. But once he got that check, wow, was it worth it? That's right, $127,000 just like that. And he knew that this part of real estate was for them. So he repeated the process, got faster, and decided to walk the journey as he is now. And with that, please welcome to the show, Andy Williams and Gigi. Welcome, Andy.
Hey, how you doing? Glad to be here.
Well, I'm mighty excited to have you along, and welcome, Gigi.
Hi, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, Andy, take us back to the moment and the time. Of course, I just reviewed your history, but how is it that you really got first interested in real estate?
Well, basically, I just know it was my cousin had a boyfriend, and he had like 10 properties. He was in real estate, and I knew that he was like the average guy. Like he was really, somebody that I really knew that was really in it. So I seen that he was able to do it, and that I can. And just by seeing him do it, and he had the 10 property getting like 10 grand a month just from rental income, I figured it's something I wanted to do. And that's when I bought my first property.
So your first property was a duplex back in 2011. How did you find that first property, Andy?
The first property was on the MLS. It come off the MLS. Somebody had it, brought it to me. This back when the market was still bad and stuff was still cheap. There was a lot of stuff out there. So they just brought it to me on the MLS, and I just grabbed it off of there.
Right. So you bought. Now, how did you fund that first duplex?
I had money from when I was doing the painting the cars. I said I had enough saved up. It was number 14,000. I had that saved up so I can do it.
Okay. So you used your own cash on that very first one.
Right.
Right. Now, what was your exit strategy on that first property? Did you wholesale it? What'd you do?
No, I still have it now. It's a duplex.
Okay, so you've been sitting on that one.
Right.
Awesome. Well, I think that duplex has probably printed you some money by now.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's. I'm sorry. Say what?
I don't refi it and everything. So.
That's awesome. Well, Andy, why don't you take a moment and introduce Gigi that you have on here with us on the show?
Gigi, she handles all the credit that we have, that we do. Speaking this thing, Gigi, tell them about a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Gigi, and I do personal credit. I do personal funding, business credit, business funding, and I started doing the credit aspect of the or the financial aspect of the business side of the house, because I had bad credit at one time. I went through a divorce, and then my score was, I think, like in the mid fives. So I had to learn how to get out or get a higher score within soon, because I couldn't do anything. So I jumped into credit, and I'm also a real estate investor. So I own properties myself.
I got you. So, Gigi, are you saying that you help real estate investors get credit so they can fund their real estate deals?
I do. I not only real estate investors, but I am partnered up with Andy, who is a real estate investor. So I help anybody jump into real estate by bumping up their score, and just getting them a higher score gives them a second chance at their financial life. So
I got you. Well, tell us more about that. How do you help people improve their credit score?
So there is a lot of ways. One of them is removing any negative accounts. So if they have any collections, charge-offs, I get them off the report. If they have high utilizations on low limit cards, I remove the high utilization cards. And just by removing all of these negatives, can bump up their score to at least like a 750. Anything higher than a 750. So at the very minimum, you need a 720 credit score to be able to get into or tap into credit cards, right? So once you have these high limit credit cards, you're able to use that money from the credit cards to jump into real estate. So you can do what Angie's doing and start the building process, buy a lot with a credit card, or even buy a house.
I got you.
And on, Jake.
So, Andy, let me swing back around to you. Are you finding deals today? Are you finding existing properties to invest in, or are you building from the ground up today?
I'm building from the ground up. I don't buy any more properties that's already developed.
Got you. So you're building properties. So in your experience, why do you like to build properties? What's the benefits of building a property versus investing in an existing property?
I'm getting it done cheaper, and plus everything is new on it. I know everything new. I don't have no problem about worrying about having to come back and fix anything later on, or like if I try to sell it, or worry about things that's under the ground that need to be fixed, anything in the walls. I know everything brand new, and I'm building it way cheaper than I can afford to pay for it.
I got you. So I understand Gigi is able to help people build their credit, help their credit scores, business lines of credit, personal credit. Gigi does all that. Andy, what's your expertise to where you're able to teach people how to do?
When she get them the credit, the money to do it, I show them how to build it. I show them the building process from the ground up, how to take the land, how to get it surveyed, how to get the architect, how to get it permitted, and how to find your team to build on it, how to get on the contractor's license, the whole process.
I got you. What's your favorite way to actually find land to build on?
The best results be the driving for dollars. Like when you ride by land, contacting the owners and seeing if they want to sell, because there's less competition with those people compared to finding anything on the market. Everybody's on
got you.
Price.
I got you. When you say driving for dollars, are you looking for acreage or are you looking for lots?
Usually single family lots in a residential area, because once you get acreage, then you're buying stuff to where you don't know how much of it is buildable. You don't know, you want how to bring utilities around and all that. It's way more money into buying the acreage than it is to start the single family.
I got you. What areas geographically do you like to build in, or do you build in, and your students?
I mean, we're in Tampa, St. Petersburg area, and we go out to like Polk County, but all this is in Florida. But I teach my students how to do it in whatever state they're in. Basically just I teach them the numbers, how to run the numbers to see if it makes sense. And once it makes sense, I just show them how to do it whatever they are.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool. So when someone is doing their very first deal like this and building, their first property, What are the primary challenges and red flags that people need to look out for so they don't make, a big mistake?
One thing is finding the right workers. The workers is a big part of the deal, and they can make it go fast. And I show them how to find the workers too, and then basically having the right piece of land. Like you want to have something, that's cleared. You don't like if you buy something with trees on it, that could take a while. You buy something that don't have city water and power. Well, not power, but water. If you don't have the city plumbing, then getting a septic tank and a well, that's like a whole big deal. That's like an extra 15 grand you're going to be paying that you didn't intend on paying for. So basically, you want to get stuff in good areas and areas where all that stuff already is.
I got you. Well, now, do you need good credit from your experience to start in real estate the way you have?
No, you don't need good credit to start. Basically, when they sign up for the boot camp, I help them get their credit together. Like Gigi gonna get their credit straight. So once they're already programmed, we're gonna show them how to get the cards off once they get the credit good. So we basically show them the whole process on how to do it. We start off with usually people with 500-600 credit scores, get them to 720s, then do the whole process for them.
I got you. Well, now, in your bio, you've got experience in using credit cards in your real estate investing business. How do you use credit cards to build your houses?
That's Gigi part. Tell them, Gigi.
So Jay, at the boot camp, we're showing them. I'm showing them which lenders to apply to, where they're able to get the high limit cards, the $25,000, $35,000 limits. They're able to tap into these cards, and we show them how to take the money out of the cards in a way that it benefits them, not only by because they're able to use that money to buy the lots, but they're able to get rewards points. So as an example, by taking money out of the cards, I'm not using the cash advance. There's different methods to use. I get one of my cards to pay me anywhere from $800 to $1,500 in rewards points, just by using the credit card on a monthly basis.
So when you say rewards points, how do rewards points work with a credit card to, what does that get you when you're doing this type of real estate deal?
So when we look at a credit card, Jay, most of us think, okay, we have a plastic card or titanium, depending on what kind of card you have. We need to go swipe it somewhere, whether it's at the mall or at a grocery store, right? There's a lot more than we can do to a card or with a credit card. And when we use the money inside the credit card, you're using rewards points. Now, those rewards points stack up, and then you can either use that to pay down the credit card bill, or you can take the money out of that and then use it towards the build or buying a lot.
Gotcha. So can this process, Andy, of what you're doing, and Andy, I'll let you answer first, then Gigi, I'll let you answer second. So can you build houses like this that you're doing, Andy, in every state?
Yeah, majority of the states you can do it in. You just got to make sure the numbers make sense. Like we got some guys from the boot camp doing it in Arizona. Got some people doing it in Chicago and Detroit and Carolina. So it's not like a Florida thing. You just find the areas in your neighborhood, in your market that makes sense, and it can work when you run the numbers.
I got you. And Gigi, can people get credit to do this type of real estate anywhere?
They can do it anywhere, Jay. Anybody can do it. Like I mentioned earlier, I went through a divorce. I'm a single parent of 3 children. So as a single mother, I had to figure out how to get money. So I got my credit card or my credit high enough to where I was able to tap into other people's money, credit cards in this case. And it's just been downhill after that. So anybody can do it. They just have to have the mindset, the desire to get out of having that low score and wanting more for themselves.
How long does it take to build the credit? I'm sure that may vary as to depending on the person and what their personal, credit profile looks like. but a range. I mean, how quick could it be, or how long does it take?
Okay, so it can take any. I've had people that go from the low fives to the mid sevens in 2 weeks. I've had
Wow.
people that go from the mid fives to the high sevens in 2 months. So it just depends on what you have on your credit report. Now, if you're, I'm gonna just put this out there, Jay. If you're with a credit repair specialist longer than 6 months and your credit score has not moved, they're just taking your money. You're just feeding their children. So jump into another credit repair agency.
I got you. So, have you been doing this credit repair for quite a while, Gigi?
I got divorced in 2015, Jay. So I've been doing it. I started off with myself in 2015, and then I made a company. I created a company, and yes. So how long has that been? 7 years.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you certainly know what you're doing. So, Andy, I got a question for you. How much money does somebody need to get started in this business the way you do it?
But basically, what we do, you don't really need the money to get started. You just need the credit cards. That's the whole purpose of doing it. The credit way is we don't using our own money. We're using the credit. So we basically getting the credit cards, and once you get the permit done and you have the lot already, it's gonna take you about $30K to get you to where we're gonna have a hard money lender come in and finish the project.
I got you. I got you. So, Andy, what would you say your superpower is that really, really makes you stand out? What are you like really good at, Andy?
Being hands on with building, like being on finding the workers, finding the lots. That's like my main thing. That's what I do all day, every day.
I got you. So when you started out doing this in, building the houses, finding the lots, getting the workers together, thus and so, what were some of your struggles and challenges that you dealt with when you started out?
When I started out, my challenge was not knowing what was the next step, not having it systemized, not knowing what was next. So basically, I was like winging the whole thing. But now I got a blueprint. Now I just got everything systemized to where it's like way easier now. But when I first started, I really didn't know what was next, what to do, what time, what inspections I needed. It was a lot that went on that I didn't know, that I found out, and now I'm telling everybody, making everybody times way shorter than my first one was.
Gotcha. Are there any licenses that a real estate investor needs to get to do the business like you do?
No, we work under a general contractor's license. You got to have a general contractor over it if you're not a general contractor. So we just pay him to use his license, and what he do the permitting, and then he do the inspection. He put in the inspection for us.
I got you. So you do work with the general contractors. So let's see here, Andy. You built your first house what year?
2020.
2020. All right. So 2020, you built your first house. On that first property, that first house that you built, what was your biggest lesson learned that you could share that would keep someone from making that same mistake? Biggest lesson learned.
Have your team together and have them ready to work. Like it was sometimes when I was on that project to where I didn't have I have one job done, but it'd be probably like 2-3 weeks before I get the next person to come work on it because I was still trying to find that person. So I didn't have it lined up. I didn't have everything ready. I didn't have my workers ready to go out there when it was time for them to go.
Right. So what lessons have you learned? What are some tips and strategies on how do you find the best workers to work with so you can count on them showing up on time and they don't overcharge you and so to speak take you to the cleaners?
The best way to find the workers is find workers that's already out doing new construction jobs. Like I go to job sites of other people's job sites that and find the workers that they have working and get their information. I get their contacts. Then I ask them, do they know other people that do other things? And those been the best people to get because they don't get paid until after the inspection passed. So they don't get upfront fees. So you don't have to go to the store with them all the time to get the material. They could call you from the store, or sometimes they even buy the material and they give you the receipt and then you pay them back that way. But of going to the different job sites was the best way for me to find them.
Yeah. Do you have to pay, or do you recommend paying any kind of a deposit up front to your general contractor or workers? Do you pay them once a week? Do you pay them like draws, to where you pay them, 2 or 3 draws during the project? How do you pay your people?
Yeah, they usually get paid in draws. Like, just say, for instance, the plumber gonna come out before the foundation and put the pipes up under the dirt, in the dirt. So he, after that inspection get passed, he get a draw in. Then once you got the framing up, he gonna come in and put his pipes inside the walls. And then you got to get that inspected. Once that get inspected, he get his second draw. His third draw come once the drywall done, paint done, everything done. Now he coming in to put his fixtures and trim up. Once he do that, he get his last draw. So everything works in draws.
Gotcha. So I know it may depend on the project, but from start to finish, how long before you or the real estate investor gets their big payday and makes money? How long does it take?
It used to be around for anywhere from 4 to 8 months. Like, once you got your permit and ready to start building, usually 4 to 8 months to get it built. Depends on the person and how much they're motivated and out there getting their job done. Like, if somebody's slacking, they're gonna take closer to a year. But if somebody out there working and getting it done, it should be nowhere between 4 to 8 months.
I got you. Now, when you've got the property finished and it is built, how do you sell it? Do you list it with a realtor?
I listed the first one I did with a realtor, well, with a broker. But the second one, everything else I get now, I just keep and I Airbnb it. But
okay. So what is your funding process? So you buy the property, or not buy the property, you build the property and you use credit cards. And then what do you do after that? If it's built, if you want to hold it, do you refinance it?
Yeah, I refi everything. I refi it once it's over with. Pay off pay everybody off. Probably keep an extra 50,000 and then just go ahead and put it on the market and let it get my money back. But
I got you. And so now I'm sorry.
No, I was saying it makes me free money because basically I got my money back. Everybody paid off on the refi, so it's like I got the free property. And now it's making me an extra 15 grand, well, 1,500 every month.
Gotcha. So why have you chosen to Airbnb the property as your exit strategy? I say exit strategy as what you're going to do with the property. What are the benefits of Airbnb?
You get double to triple the rent that you can get for regular rent.
I got you. Do you have someone that manages the house for you, or do you manage it yourself?
No, I have my sister. My sister do the managing of that, the Airbnbs.
I got you. I got you. So what are some tips and lessons that, and I know your sister's managing it, but what are some strategies and lessons you've learned on how to have a successful Airbnb business once you get, a house built?
Basically, the strategy is just to keep it going. Like, just basically every time you get one, just go ahead and just Airbnb it, and the money just gonna add up. So all I do is I just keep redoing the same thing every time. Like, once I get a house, I refi it and just repeat the process. I just stay repeating it. And then sooner or later, you're gonna have 10, 15 houses.
So you rinse and repeat.
Yeah, that's like the firm method of building.
I got you. Well, now, Andy, I've heard you talk about, and you got a cap and you got a T-shirt that says the $100,000 play or system, something like that. Yeah, the $100,000 play. What's the $100,000 play?
That's the one. Once we do the whole process, that's what we make after the process. It's either gonna be $100K in equity or $100K profit.
I got you. So your goal is to make at least $100,000 in equity or profit on a house, right?
Yes.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Gigi, let me come back over to you. What thoughts have come to mind while Andy and I have been visiting?
Yes, sir.
Have you had any thoughts come to mind while Andy and I were visiting?
I as I'm listening to Andy, so this man, I just want to reiterate that he started as a dishwasher. Okay, he went to prison, and now throughout these years, he didn't let that stop him. Okay, he put the boot camp together to basically show other people how to make $100,000 per build. Now with the Airbnbs that he has, he's making at least $10,000 on profit per house. So while you compare it to the rent, I don't know the rent. I don't know what the rental market is, but it's like I'm gonna say like $2,000, right, per month. So you can't compare that. And now touching on the credit aspect, Jay, you do not need to walk around with a bad score. If you're walking around with anything under a 720, you're walking around with it because you want to. You do not have to have a bad credit score. You can raise it up. And I encourage anybody who's listening to this to jump on your score. You don't have to come to me to get your credit repaired. You just need to get it done.
Gotcha. Well, Gigi, what's the best way for someone to get up with you or Andy or whoever to get their credit score increased?
So I am on all social media platforms, Jay, under Ms. C Notes, and it's MSCNOTES. I'm more active on IG, and it's the same social media handle. My telephone number, you can text right if you're ready to get a second chance at your financial life. Just text the word ready to 404-458-0893, and then you'll automatically get a link to my calendar. We'll hop on a call, and then we'll come up with a plan of attack.
Awesome. So just to make sure that number was heard, your number is 404-458-0893, and
Yes,
just text ready to that number.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, now, Andy, how about people getting in touch with you, and how do they do that to learn about your real estate investing process?
The best way to get in contact with me is at Andy Buy Houses. That's on either any platform. That'd be YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. But I'm mostly on Instagram. So basically, and I got the bio in there. On my bio, you can look and see. You can see I got the ebook that kind of explains to you like the whole basic steps on how to do it, how to build a house from the ground up. I got the ebook. I got the boot camp, which show you how to do it in person. And then I have the mastermind to where I walk you through the whole process. Hand by hand, like I hold your hand and walk you through it. So Andy Buy Houses on Instagram. You can contact me on there.
That's great. We did have a question come in, Andy. The question is, how do you get workers ready and lined up if you don't have a property yet? So in other words, the question is, do you get workers lined up before you have a property, or do you get the property or get the land first and you're ready to build, and then you look for the workers?
No, you can get the workers before you even have the land. That way it's way easier for you once you get the land. Like basically it's the same thing I told you. Just go ahead and go to all the spots. Like go to places you see people building it already. Once you see them building, go inside there, talk to the people, talk to the workers, and get their information. And a lot of them work together. Like a lot of them, it may be a plumber that you're talking to, but the plumber always around another AC guy or another electrical guy. They work around the same time. So basically, if you ask him do he know anybody do electrical or plumb HVAC, he's going to tell you, yeah, I know such and such that do this. And sometimes they even pay each other for bringing deals to them. Like it might give one person a couple $100 just for bringing them somebody that wanted the work done.
I got you. That's awesome. All right. Well, Gigi, if you will give your final comments and advice, then we'll let Andy give his final comments, and we'll be done with this show.
Okay, so I guess my final thoughts, Jay, is credit is king right now. So raising your score should be on the top of your list. Anything can get removed from your credit report. Child support, bankruptcies. You do not have to wait for the 7-year mark to remove a bankruptcy. You can do it beforehand. high balance cards with low limits, those can get removed. You need at least a 720 to get into funding and be able to tap into the $25,000 limit cards. And just get your mindset right and want more than what you have right now. And I think that'll get you further than just
That's
sitting around.
awesome. Thank you so much, Gigi. Andy, final comments.
But basically, you just doing this. You just gotta believe. Like, you gotta believe that you want to do it, and you gotta be motivated. Like me, I came from prison. I got out of prison, and I got out doing all this stuff. So, by me coming out from doing all that and still able to make it happen, a lot of people never been in bad situations like that, so they shouldn't have no excuse to get out here and make something happen. You just gotta have that drive and motivation. And
Well, Andy, you've got a very inspiring story. Thank you so much for sharing that with everyone. I appreciate you.
you're welcome.
Absolutely. Gigi, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
All right. God bless you all. Well, there you have it, my friend. Another episode of this show. I'm Jay Conner, the Private Money Authority, wishing you all the best. And here's to taking your business to the next level. We'll see you right here on the next show.